I knew that shit was coming.
It's who you know, bro.
Isn't that what you know?
This
Yeah.
is
I knew
From
that
the
was
Big
coming.
House to the Penthouse podcast. Stories of addiction and recovery. The lie is dead. We do recover.
What's going
What's
on,
up?
everybody? Welcome back
What's
to another
up?
episode of From the Big House
To the
Penthouse. Stories of addiction and recovery.
Especially recovery, addiction and recovery. You're right.
As always, your host is Ricky Cruz.
What's up, my two co-hosts, Raul Moreno and Ronnie. We won't say his last name, but it's something to do with a tooth. What's up, Ronnie? What up, man? What's happening?
Hey man, thanks for having me once again.
Hey, man. Well, this is your home, bro. This is your
Absolutely.
home. You're at home. Hey, you're part of the. You're part of. You're
You
the.
good?
You're
don't
part
gotta
of the
get so
dual
close.
team, man. I mean, it's a we're a what do they call it? A triangle? I don't know what they call a triangle, but you
Three
know what I'm saying.
amigos.
Yeah, right on. Something like that. Something like that. What's up, man? Well, how was your weekend? Let's start with you, Ronnie. How was your weekend, man?
It was good, man. Relaxing, and then I met up with Ricky, so that was even.
That was an adventure.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we talked about it, and I'll be honest with you, man. I had to reschedule the time like 3 times. We started off. He wanted to go party at 5:30 in the afternoon. You know, he was like, "Man, let's
at a buffet, Golden Corral.
Yeah, I think so. I think so, man. I told him I don't eat meat, man. But yeah. And then we negotiated and we met up at 7, right? At 7:30. Yeah, 7:00, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. We ended up going to, where did we go, Ronnie?
House of Blues.
The House of Blues, the
House of
foundation
Blues.
room. Yeah, the VIP. I'm trying to show this guy, man, you know, all the wonderful things that I experience on the weekends. I actually haven't been in a while. I haven't gone. I've since we got that account in 2019. And then in 2019 we started at the foundation room, which is the VIP room there on top of the House of Blues in downtown. So we got that in 2019, man, and then 2020 hits freaking coronavirus, man, and
Yeah.
it puts everything in a halt, man. And I was like, man, I'm gonna have a great time, and so I think the rest of 2020 we went without, and in 2021 in March or something like that, it started back up, and here we are, man. We've watched some shows, and we did some shows. We've done some dinners, and then Ronnie kicked off the party for 2022. Ronnie
Man.
and
I saw
Rachel.
I saw the pictures, man.
Dude, we had a great time.
Were all those pictures taken there?
They were all taken there. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were all taken there. In fact, we sat it, and I'm friends with Rocky, which is our concierge. Hey, check this out, man. 3 recovering addicts, man. Now we have a concierge. Hey, can you right? It's up, yeah.
We can't spell concierge.
I don't even know how to spell it. I don't even know how to spell it, but I got one. What's up, Rocky? If you're seeing us, man. If you're seeing us, in fact, he should be seeing us, Rocky. They don't open the House of Blues. Well, House of Blues actually opens up Tuesday on, but Foundation Room VIP opens up Thursday through Saturday night only.
Nice.
You know what I mean? So, because that's how us white folks, that's how we roll. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Is that right, Ronnie?
Yes,
So and then
sir.
tell me how it was, man. Well, first of all, tell them about your experience meeting us at the apartment. What happened?
Oh, first of all, thank
Okay.
you again for having me.
Hey, yeah.
Thanks for making me a co-host.
Uh-huh.
And the lie is dead. We do recover.
We do recover, yes.
First and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good experience. I think it's good for people to get out of their comfort zones,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which I don't like to do too much because I'm kind of like a strict person. on
So wait a
myself.
minute. Do you don't like to get out much?
No,
Really?
I do. I just don't. I'm pretty strict.
What do you
on
mean
what
strict?
I
Or
do.
who you deal with, who you go out with, or
Yeah.
where you go? Which
Both.
one? Both, really. Is it something to do with you because you're are you saying that and tell me if I'm wrong. You're saying that you're selective of who you go out with and where you go. Is it because of Ronnie, something with Ronnie, or something with recovery the program? Which one? Or both? Elaborate on that a little bit if you don't mind.
I mean, both.
Both?
Recovery comes first.
Well, of course, but what I'm saying, well, recovery comes first for me too, right? It has to, but yet I kind of, some recovering addicts may say, damn, what's Ricky doing over there? Sitting at a table and there's beers on the table on the other end, right?
Yeah.
It's not recommended. It's not recommended in the program. And some people, some old folks, what they call old timers may see some of my pictures and go, that cat's going to relapse. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of time. But what do you think about that, Ronnie? Tell me about that. Because the reason I'm saying that is I like to bring that up because it's been a subject before, right? On as we get some clean time together, and you know what happens, man. A lot of times when we get a little clean, we get confident. You know what I mean? And we get what's that word that we use in the program? We get complacent. Yeah, complacency in our recovery. Tell us your thought on it, Ronnie. And then I want to hear Raul.
My thought on it is I try to be very selective of what I do and how I do it. It's very important.
Well, dude, but let me ask you this, and I'm sorry to interrupt all the time, but I, when I was using drugs, I was kind of selective about that too. Is there a pattern there? Because I was selective on the people that I did drugs with. You know what I mean? And a lot of the times, maybe y'all didn't, but I did drugs by myself. You know what I mean? I hid in the closet, or I hid by myself. At first, I did drugs with other folks, and then I didn't want to share. And then I was kind of like, I wanted to be alone. I get some of that, what do you call that, anxiety of being around other people would set in, and paranoia, I guess. Let's say what it is. It was paranoia. You know what I mean? What do you think about that? About what I'm saying, is it that is it or you just because you're just selective of what do you understand the question that I'm asking or yeah? I'll let you speak.
Okay.
No.
So to be
You told me
honest,
to shut up. Yeah.
I worked too hard to get where I got. So I'm very protective of the decisions I make because I was so reckless before, and now I'm kind of more in depth with my thoughts. So I don't like to put myself in situations where I feel uncomfortable. Why would I do that? I constantly did that when I was using. So why would I do that now?
But don't we in the program, and I know we had talked about it, not really talking a lot about the program, right? Because we're not connected to NA yet. We are recovering, right? We're recovering addicts. I thought, what is your thought about? Some people say, hey, listen, you need to make yourself get out of your comfort zone, right? I mean, get off the couch and make yourself uncomfortable. Is that not the same thing? No. What's your thought on that? You know what I'm saying? Because you said that you don't like to put yourself in a position where you're uncomfortable.
No,
right?
I don't mind being in certain situations, but I make sure I have an out at all times.
Okay.
If I start feeling uncomfortable, it's time to go.
Right.
Me and my wife have a code word. I can't tell you what the code word is.
Right.
But
exit.
That's not it.
It's not it. It's
But,
not exit.
Fire.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of fire.
I know, right? We did have a fire. There was a fire in my apartment complex. Yeah. Hey, if I don't mean to interrupt you, but who's Christopher McLean? What does that say?
He says, I was selective when I drank. I didn't like all day drinkers.
Huh. How about the all-nighters? How about the all-nighters? How were they? How did they do in that? So what's the difference? Can one of you two answer that? Let's go with Raul. Raul, what does that mean? All-day drinkers. What does that mean? Because I know that you had a little bit with more than us, although with our addiction, a lot of times my addiction got kicked off with alcohol. But what is it? Can you answer that? What is he talking about?
I guess I'm assuming, like, okay, so when you get to the party, when you get to the bar, you want to be on the same level as everybody else. You don't want them to be 5 seats in front of you because they're already at that point where they're, I don't know, belligerent, and it's not. Well, I didn't find it funny.
You didn't try to catch up? Well, you know what I mean? I'm like, let me hurry up, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? Taking a couple of shots and, blah, blah, blah. Let me catch up to this fool, man,
I definitely would.
Yeah?
Try.
that was the what you call it at the time, huh? So yeah, that was I was selective when I drank. I didn't like all drinkers. Well, I guess I didn't like all.
I read it wrong. My
That's
bad,
what I
bro.
thought you. Yeah, it's not all day drinkers. It's just
I got
all
this
drinkers.
thing right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah, I didn't like all drug addicts either. Selective in who, because I didn't want to share my shit with this. Some of these Bogart, some bitches, I didn't want them to ask too much for too much stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
I mean,
So, okay. So there was a fire, and then Ronnie, we made it to the. We actually, Raul, we went to. Was it Friday or Saturday night? We went to House
Saturday.
of Blues.
Saturday.
Tell me your experience, man. I'm sure you and your wife talked about afterwards. What was your experience coming in? Because to me, when that first time I went to the Foundation Room, Houston, man, it's like walking into a different world, man. Low lights, kind of like Indian gods all over the place. Who's that? Is that Shiva? Is that Shiva? Is that Shiva is the Indian god? Is the elephant with the ears and the he has a name. Those gods there in the back, those are in Hindu gods. Did you know that? Yeah, well, stick with me. I'll learn you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Those
I got one God. I'm not worried about
well,
that.
I know, but we respect everybody's choice of
Of
whatever,
course.
right? You know, this is a whatchamacallit. But yeah, that's what that is. You know, I don't pray to them, but I do respect anybody's choice of what they do and what their beliefs are, right? But I think it's kind of cool. You know what I mean? It's kind of cool that, like, you know, Buddhism, you know, they have Buddhism, if I'm saying it right, has some pretty cool features. You know what I mean? You know, whatever they may be, or, you know, I absorb them and I look at them and I say, hey, cool. You know what I'm saying? I got this deal going on over here. You know what I mean? But so anyway, you walk in and your wife walk in, and what was your thought about that, man? Was there any anxiety or any kind of, man, I got to leave or anything, or no?
No, I mean, I've been in situations like that before.
Oh yeah, in your 13 years of recovery.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I go to a restaurant. They sell alcohol in the restaurant.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So I mean, it really doesn't make me uncomfortable. But like I said, I always have an out. Like
right.
if I start to feel uneasy or don't like the situation, I can change it.
Well, you know, and that's kind of what, you know, that Lisa and I early on, what does Chrissy say? What are these handsome devils? You know what? Yeah, I don't understand why I have to sit in the back. They put Ronnie in the front. You know what I mean? He must be the most handsome devil of them all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Thank you for joining us. And Christopher, thank you for joining us too. And for your comment. But, you know, yes, Lisa and I actually have, when we started to go out and especially when we moved to Houston, we started visiting more and more, you know, places. And dude, one time we went to a club called Crew. They're in downtown. Have you ever heard of them? Dude, it's like walking into a it was crazy. It was crazy. Just a bunch of young folks. You know, you can smell a lot of things, you know, a lot of stuff burning, you know what I mean? And we're like, hey, okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. And at least I walked around. We walked around. We just like, hey, these guys are young, man, and they're smoking funny stuff. So I was like, okay, let's go. You know what I mean? And we walked out, and we was like, hey, that was an experience, man. You know. And I guess, and you know what? I guess you guys know. I don't know if you were there, Ronnie, when I shared about going to a Snoop Dogg concert. Were you there? Did I tell you that I went? Did you know I went to a Snoop Dogg concert?
Oh yeah,
I did tell you, or I didn't tell you. I didn't tell you. Well, I did, man. And there was a lot of pot being smoked. I mean, a lot. In fact, you know, the pot that I was used to be smelling back in the day when I smoked pot. Smelled a lot different than this pot for some reason, man. It was a potent shit. And you know what? I wasn't even worried. You know, I wasn't worried about me relapsing or nothing like that. I really actually had a really good time. I had a really good time at a Snoop, but you know what I did? I did what I'm supposed to do. The next morning, that was a Saturday night. Sunday morning, I went to a meeting. And I talked about it. And somebody else shared about them going to Cat Stevens. Cat Stevens? Was that the old singer from Cat Williams? Cat Williams, right? Yes, Cat Williams. He's a comedian. Cat Williams, not Cat Stevens. Cat Stevens is the old 70s composer or songwriter from the soft rock 70s or some shit, right?
Yeah, you're old. You're the only one
I'm
that knows
old.
that.
Yeah, but okay, let's see. So yeah, they shared. So I opened the platform talking about that. I went to see a Snoop Dogg concert in my experience, and then they shared about that, and we opened up the floor for that, and other people shared about situations kind of like that, and it was kind of cool, you know what I mean, because it took the worry away of me going, man, did I do something wrong, and you know what, maybe I should not go next time, and blah blah blah, but something weird that I never felt like using. I didn't feel like using. I was just like, instead I was like, you know what, man, hey, the other people, they want to smoke, they can smoke. And if they don't want to smoke, they don't. If people want to drink, they can drink. All I know today, Ronnie, is that I can't drink. I cannot smoke weed. I cannot change my way of feeling, right? Be it with drug, sex, alcohol. Well, drugs and drugs is alcohol is a drug, sex, food, everything. I obsess over things, man. Maybe I worry about things, so I have to control my way of thinking, and a lot of times that's key. What does Rachel have to say? Can somebody, you read it, Ronnie? She's connected to you somehow.
She said, Ricky, how do you feel about spending the majority of your time in places where people were using and doing things that you don't necessarily partake in anymore?
Great question, and I guess I answered it a few minutes ago. I can go to an orgy and I'm joking.
Why would you be there?
I wouldn't participate. I think I would like to go watch. I'm sorry, my daughters who are listening. No, that's not true. I was kidding. Let me see. I read that again. Ricky, how do you feel about spending a majority of your? Okay, can I underline spending the majority of your time in places where people are using and doing things that you don't necessarily participate? I wouldn't. Well, I don't spend the majority of my time. You know what I mean? I don't spend the majority of my time, so I wouldn't know. And I don't want to spend the majority of my time in those places. You know what I mean? Because the more time I would spend, the more time I think it would be, my mind would start telling me I get used to that. And that's going to be the norm for me. You know what I mean? So I don't think it would be safe for me.
I think she says it because a lot, people that follow you through social media, they only see the parts that you post, and a lot of places that you post are concerts or concert vineyards. Is it vineyards?
Yeah, venues. Restaurants.
Things like that. I think that's why she was stated majority of your time.
Well, but listen, I also post a lot of when I go to a when I think I post more about going to meetings and meeting up with. If people follow me, they're gonna see that with all due respect, Kenny, and we respect each other's last names for the anonymity. I meet on a regular basis, man. And some of the things that people don't see, and I guess I could be more vocal about it, is that every Sunday, and I've been doing this since I've been digging back into my program. I've been, look, Raul, the thing is, we get complacent, right? And all due respect to Rachel's question is that we all get complacent, whether it be on our diet, whether it be about, putting deodorant. Sometimes we don't, in the mornings, I don't put them on because I put it at night and blah, 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 or vice versa. We get used to things. And so I got used to, yeah, I'll answer that one here in a second, Cindy. But so we get complacent. Now, I going on 11 years of recovery, right? There's been spots in my life where I just quit going to meetings. I'm talking about months. Yeah. But then you know what happens, man? That mindset, that setting goes in about, well, you know what, man? I'm not like them. You know what I mean? Yeah. I have, I look around and I'm like, well, no, man, you're pretty fucked up. I've never did shit like that. You know what I mean? No, I did shit worse. You know what I mean? When I really, really think about it. But see, and this is where the people in the program, the people that like Ronnie, you know, and I'm gonna tell you, and I don't know if I finished this deal, but Ronnie remembers, man, and this is why I appreciate Ronnie being in my life. I appreciate Raul being in my life. And Raul has said Raul and I have also had, just like Ronnie, we've had some intimate conversations, man, and I appreciate you guys being honest with me. And if y'all ever talk to me, when you ever ask me something, I'm gonna be honest with you.
That's what we wanted.
Well, you're right. And one time, and Ronnie remember, it was a couple years back. We were at a hamburger joint, man, and I never forget it because I felt like running him over with a car. Yep. But yeah, him, yes, because he told me some shit that I didn't really like, man. You know, I was like, I was expecting a different reaction as dudes, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't get it. And I was like, oh, what the fuck's wrong with him? But it wasn't,
do
no.
I look cute in these shorts?
Yeah, something like that. You think these are low enough?
Nothing like that.
You think these are low enough? No, but I was, and that wasn't really a question. It was a comment of something. And he was like, dude, nah, man, you know what? That ain't cool. And I was like, oh, man. Whatever, dude, you know, but later on thinking about it, I was like, you know what, this cat's real, man.
Yeah.
You know, I need to hear shit like that, man. I need to hear it. Ricky Cruz, a recovering addict, the one that comes up with all these wonderful fucking ideas about my own life and what's best for me, needs to hear shit like that, Raul.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And
definitely.
Ronnie, I need to hear it. You know, because that's kind of the things that my sponsor used to tell me too. And I needed that, you know, that slap in the hand or that, you know what, dude, no, I'm not going to co-sign your shit. You know what I mean? I'm not, my pen's out of ink for you, bro. Yeah. You know, my pen is out of ink for this shit. I'm not going to sign it. And now, and Ronnie, I mentioned this, because the other two cats, and I won't say no names, Jeff was there, and he said nothing about it. You know what I mean? He's just like, you know, like whatever. But Ronnie stood, and I said, you know what? I don't think, man, you know, and nothing, you know, nothing about my other buddy. You know, he's a good dude too, and I love him. I love the shit. I was just playing right now. But Ronnie said it, man, and he was a thorn on my side. And later on, I was thinking, man, why did he react that way, man? Is he just, you know, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, all that thinking came through. But I was like, well, this dude, you know, I appreciate him being honest. And I think, quite honestly, man, I think after that, dude, I started looking at this cat a little different. You know what I mean? And we started talking a little more, man, and then a little more, and a little more. You know, what is that? Cheech and Chong? You know, the Christmas, whatchamacallit?
Oh, man, I don't remember.
But anyway, so, yeah. And I don't know how we got on that subject, but so, yes, out of Rachel's question about that. We have more questions.
Some of these comments.
Go ahead.
I think it's great advice for any situation. Take control, leave if you feel uncomfortable. That's good. He was agreeing with you, Ronnie. We got Christopher Tree. His name is Tree.
Okay.
He's like 11 foot tall.
Yeah.
I saw him a number of years ago. I was working private security, and I got to meet Snoop. Nice guy. Son, that meeting was on Monday. I was there.
Oh,
well, talking about Ricky.
Yeah. Okay. It was Sunday. You're right. And that was Monday. You're right. Thank you for that, Rachel. It's putting me on blast. Ronnie, talk to your girl.
And he just said her name.
Yeah.
We don't know her last name.
I found that places I used to party at were boring after I quit. Well, no shit.
Not me. And you know what? Not me. I bring the party. I bring the party to the place, man. I really do. I think so. I don't know. Maybe I don't. I like to have fun, dude. You know what? I don't know what it is about Ronnie that they say that, how am I gonna have fun now that I don't drink? You know what I mean? All that bullshit, dude. I'm having the time of my fucking life, dude. I mean, I'm experiencing now things today, Raul. Yeah. I'm feeling things, I'm seeing things, and I'm remembering the next day.
We see it, man.
What I'm saying, I know y'all see it, but what I'm saying is,
like,
and me, yeah,
and
but
you.
Well, I mean, my own person. Y'all, when I was partying, everybody remembered it too, but they remember a bunch of bullshit related to me because I left nothing but a bunch of bullshit behind, offending people and going to jail and getting attorneys and all that kind of bullshit, right? And I thought that was having fun, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I'm having a great time, man. And when I hear somebody say, or I read these memes, which says, how am I going to have a good time now that I don't drink? I'm like, you fool. You know what I mean? I guess you just have to experience it, man. You have to experience it. You know, even today, sometimes I think to myself, I mean, I'm very lucky that I have a wonderful wife and I love her dearly. And check this, just that alone, Raul. I used to before, dude, about 10, 15 years ago, guys, I couldn't say in front of two other dudes that I love my wife so much. It was something that I just couldn't say it. It wasn't like a dude thing. You know what I mean? My dad would probably, if my dad or the men, it would be like, what's wrong with this guy? You know what I mean?
That's that old Mexican shit.
That's that old Mexican shit. Yeah. That's what my sponsor said, dude. Is that, with the machismo. The machismo, you know what I mean? And my brother one of my brothers be doing that bullshit, he's pussy whooped. You know what I mean? Get that hell out of here. You know what I'm saying? We're men over here, you know? And my wife, y'all heard me talk shit to her a few minutes ago, but she knows that I'm kidding. You know what I mean? I do it on purpose, because I do that to her. She does that to me in front of her friends. It's just a thing that we have. People go, he's an asshole. Don't let him talk to you like that. But it's a thing that her and I have. You know what I mean? What about you, Ronnie? You say something.
What's the question? He'll talk for like 15 minutes, and then he'll come back to the conversation like the 7 hours ago. And then he's like, "What do you think?"
Okay, let's see. Answer some of those questions you got. What we got for?
Cindy said you post that sexy sassy mama of yours a lot.
Yeah, I got to keep the other women off of me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Lisa says, you better tell those bitches that I'm a redhead and I like to fight. Lisa says. Yeah.
Then we got Christopher. He said, numbers, the number of nights. What the name of the nightclub I saw Snoop at. Yeah. Oh, Numbers is the name of the club I saw Snoop at. Damn.
Numbers, yeah. Yeah, that's over there off of Westheimer. Yeah. Old club Numbers. Yeah.
Able to stay in the moment unclouded.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what William is saying that he enjoys now.
Right.
Without drinking and whatever. I like that.
Right.
Man, it's a lot of things, man. We want to touch up on a couple subjects, man. We want to talk a little bit about anonymity.
Anonymity, that's a good question.
How it affects us in our professional lives.
And does it?
Yeah.
And does it? Who wants to go first? You want to go first, Raul? We ain't heard much from you. No, Ronnie, then you go ahead, man.
Are you sure?
I'm absolutely sure. I'm going to shut up for about 15 minutes.
That's a lie.
I'm already tired.
You want me to hit the mute?
Hit the mute.
Yeah. Shut his mic off.
Mute his shadow. Yeah, I hear you.
The whole anonymity thing, when it comes to my occupation.
So first off, can we say so? Can you just tell us what anonymity is, though? Let's start with that. Because I don't know. Some people don't know what anonymity is. Yeah. I didn't know. Go ahead. And now really be quiet.
Anonymity is letting people know that you're not part of something when you are part of something.
Okay.
So I don't need to tell you. Anonymity is if we go to a store and I see you there, you don't tell anybody you've seen me there.
Mm-hmm.
That's what anonymity is.
Really?
Yeah.
So if I Google it, that's what it'll say about the department store.
Maybe not to the complete definition, but for me in my occupation, what I do for a living, I have to pick and choose who I tell.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got a lot of people that are judgmental.
Yeah.
Even if it's 13 and a half years ago, they still place judgment on you and want to know. Because some families might be turned off by it. Well, I don't want this type of guy taking care of my family.
No, that makes sense.
So I kind of pick and choose what I do and who I tell. But because really, if people knew what I really used to do, they wouldn't want to be around me. Society out there, they wouldn't want no parts of what we're. But what we're doing today is totally different.
What are we doing today?
We're living.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go back to what you said earlier. We get to live, man. And I like to travel myself too. And me and Ricky travel a lot, and it's a beautiful thing, man. To be homeless and eating out of trash cans to going wherever the fuck I want to go when I want to go.
Right.
That's fabulous.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Recovery,
great feelings. They're great feelings.
It's I have a blast, man. You know, that's how you have fun, not drinking and drugging.
Man.
Go do stuff that you enjoy, that makes you happy, that fills your heart. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Go do stuff that really makes you happy.
And you know what? Sometimes, and I know I was going to be quiet, but I want to add my part to your conversation, man.
That was like 2.5 minutes.
That was 2 minutes. Thanks, man. I sometimes I feel a little awkward posting. You know, I'll post a lot when I go out of town. I post everything I do, man, everything. And sometimes I feel a little that people may think, well, you know, this guy, why is he posting so much? Is he showing off to what? No, dude, I want to let the world see. A lot of people know that I went under the ground. You know, I didn't hit the ground. I wasn't, you know, I didn't just hit rock bottom. I hit under the rock of the bottom. You know what I mean? And I like to, I'm just saying, man, I like to share all the wonderful things that are going on in my life, every bit of them, from flying airplanes. I mean, not flying them, but co-piloting them, you know, to, you know, whale watching, dude, you know what I mean? I was eating cherries in the Pacific Northwest, you know, while watching whales, you know what I mean? Lisa's like, what are you doing? I said, I stole these cherries and I brought them on the boat. You know what I mean? She's like, you're ridiculous. I said, I know. You know, okay, go ahead.
Ronnie, read that question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So would y'all say that addiction is like the ring that keeps trying to draw you to use whatever your choice is, even when you are in recovery? Like it is always drawing to that is in the back of your mind. I mean, addiction shows itself in many different forms.
Yeah.
You know, even after we get clean, I start being obsessive compulsive. That's an addiction. If I'm obsessing over something that I can't control.
What's the difference between an addiction and a habit?
Addiction is when you do something and even when you want to stop, you can't stop. That's addiction.
Well,
for me.
a habit is something you do over and over again.
Right.
You create a habit. You know what I mean? Addiction, in my opinion, addiction, man, I think that we're born with it. You know what I mean? Releasing your addiction, man, is that's why there's some of our literature says releasing that addiction all over again. You know what I mean? We obsess. Some of us obsess, you know, over things and releasing that obsession again. Now, creating habits, either good or bad, you know what I'm saying, is habits can be created, right? Addiction, I think, and some people may argue this, that addiction isn't a problem, you know what I mean, or isn't a mental problem. It's, you know, I don't know the studies or whatever. You're the statistics guy on that one, right? Hey,
but I changed the subject. We didn't answer the question.
Okay, what was the question?
Misty had. She said, I'm sorry, I don't think okay, never mind.
Should I read it again? So would y'all say that addiction is like the ring that keeps trying to draw you to use whatever your choice is, even when you are in recovery? Like, is it always a drawing to that is in the back of your mind? Do you understand that question? I think I kind of understand it. Wouldn't answer it, Ronnie?
She says a ring, like the movie, The Ring. Okay, so I don't think it's always in the back of your mind. I think once you start your recovery process, sometimes you got to keep working it.
Now I'm going to tell you, there are certain situations that brings my addiction back. Now I'm going to tell you, man, and this, I'll be the first one to say it, and maybe people won't say it, but to me, honestly, a lot of my addiction was connected to certain, you know, to sex. You know what I mean? It was, you know, so, and I know this is going to be weird. It's going to be whatever, but look, we're here to talk the truth, at least me. Okay. My choice of drugs and my, you know, a lot of things related to my choice of drug was related to sex, you know, and so when I would think about, that's why we do some type of work, man, about not seeing like, you know, getting away from porn, you know, and all that kind of stuff, you know, that it brings our mind to places that we don't want to go, we don't want to visit, you know what I mean, and it brings back old memories. And I'm going to tell you guys that I have had many conversations, and I don't know if I've had it with y'all, but that I end up saying, I don't remember a lot of things. And I am so glad that I don't remember a lot of things, because somehow my mind has blocked them, and I am so blessed. In fact, I kind of don't even remember. I vaguely remember what my choice of drugs would make me feel like. You know what I mean? And even when I would probably think about what it would feel like, I play that tape forward and go, what it would feel like the next morning, of what it did to me. You know what I mean? We have another question.
Yeah. Would you say that you replaced a bad addiction with a good one?
Well, I'm running out of money from all these cars I'm buying, so I would say so. Look, man, that could be dangerous. Ronnie, answer that for us.
Oh yeah, it can be real dangerous.
In which way?
Because you can just trade one addiction for another.
Okay, well, give us an example.
An example
Buying-
of a good and
buying
bad?
cars.
Mm-hmm,
Okay.
Okay.
If you run out of money and you're obsessive compulsive about it, and you
Well,
really
tell us
gotta-
about yours. No, let's not talk about mine. Let's talk about what you would your experience on what you would trade. What one of your addiction you would trade yours. I mean, do you collect? Do you buy? Do you?
A bad
Tell us about
addiction
yours. Yeah,
with a good one.
with a good one. Yeah, tell us. Let's pretend he's talking to you.
So I had a money issue too,
Mm.
and I felt like I had to have it right then. Like
Money.
no, like things,
Okay.
and it costs money to buy things.
Yeah.
And so I would have this obsessive compulsive. If I seen it, I had to have it. Well, that's the same way I was in my addiction when I was using drugs. If I even thought about it,
Mm-hmm.
I would go do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say addictions show different times and different situations
Mm-hmm.
with different things.
Mm-hmm.
That's the beauty of it, but I can recognize it today.
Mm-hmm.
It's not to say it didn't come with some bumps and bruises
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not perfect.
Yeah. What?
I'm far from perfect.
You what?
I'm not perfect.
That's not what you were saying the other night.
I don't know where to go from that one.
Keep going, Ronnie. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm good. I said
You're
that.
done?
Yeah.
Now,
Ricky,
can I
Because
say?
he's going to cut in 3 more times. So I just figured I'd cut it
I'm
out.
just, just keeping you on check. Ricky, did you have any childhood trauma? I did. Well, it just depends. Trauma. I think we all have some sort of. It seems like we all have had some sort of trauma. Either, mommy issues, daddy issues. Didn't love me enough. Didn't care for me enough. Loved my brother more than me. My mom loved my sister. Did more for them. They got more gifts during Christmas.
Is that trauma?
For me, it kind of was. For me, it was because I always felt less than, bro. I always felt less than, and it gave me a complex, you know what I mean? That I wasn't good enough for other people. So look, man, if my parents didn't think I was good enough, how the fuck was I going to know that I was good enough for somebody else? You know what I mean? That's why today, man, you know what I did this morning? And I don't do this all the time, but I do it when I think about it. I called every one of my children. In fact, I didn't call them. I text them.
Yeah.
I text, today, and I've been doing this almost, yesterday, I hadn't talked to my daughter in about a week, Megan, and I won't say her name, but she, I hadn't called her in about a week and a half, and then, I called her the other day, actually, I texted her, she's like, oh, it's good to know I got a father, she says, right? And then I was like, oh, Mama, I'm so sorry. It's just, I'm just caught up, and I got caught up at work, and I know I've been taking a lot of time off and stuff, but this week I'm a man short. I've got one of my service advisors up in the front. He's on vacation, so I'm stepping in, right? So I just said, look, I'm very, very sorry, but look, here I am today, right? I'm calling and I'm texting, and I love you so much. And look, give me a chance. I'm sorry, and I'll come see you this weekend. And in fact, I'll pick up one of the boys because she is pregnant, and I'm going to try to give you a hand. I said, I'm not going to make any promises because if I make a promise today, Raul, I have to keep it. So I told her, I say very well, I'm not going to make any promises, but I'm going to try. So I did that. I'm making those good habits today. I text every one of my kids and they all responded. And man, I felt so good. I felt so good about myself as a father. So, dude, I try to do these things, making these good habits, You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm creating these good habits to get my life together, you know, to keep going. I'm also, and I think I told you, I'm not sure if I told you, but I'm using a calendar now. Did I tell y'all? I'm so proud of myself. I told my therapist on Friday, I said, check this out, man. I pulled out my phone and I go, check it out. He goes, yeah, it's a calendar. I was like, yeah, but check it out, man. And look at all the colors, man. I've got every day. There's like 6 different colors because everybody that I'm gonna have an appointment that I need to call back or I have lunch, blah blah blah. It's on my calendar, and it gives me. I give myself 3 hours notice, and then an hour before that. And dude, I'm on top of my shit.
Good,
oh my god!
That's
In
good.
fact, I'm so much on top of my shit that Kenny and I were supposed to meet for lunch today. I mean, for coffee. It's our regular Wednesday coffee, Kenny and I. But he called me yesterday. He says, "Hey man, I'm over here at the coffee, man. I guess you're not gonna be able to make it." Trip, man. I said, "Oh man, I'm on my way." He goes, "No, don't worry about it, man. You know, we forget." Well, I get there. I said, "No, wait for me. And I'll make it to Starbucks, and we had our coffee and all that. And I'm looking at I pull my calendar up. All of a sudden, my thing comes up and says, "Coffee with Kenny tomorrow." I'm like, "Kenny, man, you're a day early, dude." You know what I mean? He was a day early. It wasn't me. It was him. I said, "Look at my calendar, man. Every Wednesday for the last month and a half." Anyway, yeah.
Well, what about you, Ronnie?
Yeah.
Did you have any childhood traumas that you feel like affected you in any
Oh,
way?
absolutely. Yeah, I had a couple of things that happened. You want me to go in depth?
Yeah, if you like.
My sister died at 6 years old, so that was pretty traumatic.
How old were you?
I was 10.
Damn.
So
wow.
yeah, it was pretty
Sorry to hear
traumatic.
that, man.
And you know, a couple other things, but that was the main one, you know, and I just started to feel like I was in survival mode at a very young age.
Oh, wow.
And it's not because of my surroundings or who was helping me grow up. It was just my thought. My addiction was already showing itself
At 10 years old?
I mean, so think of it this way.
Mm.
When you're a young kid and you start doing stuff you're really not supposed to do, what do you think that is?
Misbehavior.
That's what we call it then.
Mhm.
But if you look back at it now, I was showing addictive mentalities and different things.
Mhm.
I just didn't know it. I just didn't put the dope in my body yet.
Mm.
So give me an example of something that you used that you said at 10 years old.
Oh, I used to steal.
Mm.
At a young age, I would steal
Yeah.
like clothes and stuff like that. Like it was an obsession.
Mm.
So that was something. But
Is it because y'all couldn't afford it?
no, it's just because I wanted to do it.
Oh, okay.
And so that would start where I would obsess over it.
Mm.
Another thing where if I needed it, I would go get it, regardless of the consequences, regardless of whatever I did.
Mm.
I was willing to pay the consequence, even at 10. You know, so I knew I had issues early on.
Mhm.
I knew.
Mm.
I don't know if
At
anybody
10.
else knew. Yeah, I mean,
and
I
was it
could.
because you were stealing, and you said, "Did you?" So when you were at that age, you were like, "Man, why am I stealing?" Did you think about that, or no? It was just you know, it was just childhood, whatever. It was cool,
Yeah.
or whatever, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't trying to psychoanalyze it at the time. At 10 years old, I was just like, you know, maybe this is just normal.
Yeah.
Maybe everybody does this.
Hmm.
Yeah. She said,
Who?
Misty wants to know trauma that triggered your addiction.
Mm.
So do you think anything that happened in your childhood traumatized your addiction?
You know what? I've heard people say that in the rooms, man. And I don't know. Maybe it does for them, but for me, no, it doesn't. You know what would trigger my addiction? Certain women, you know, because what I talked about earlier.
Yeah.
That would trigger my addiction. I mean, sometimes, I mean, you know, and the reason I married a redhead is because I'm just flabbergasted over redheads, and so I got one. You know what I mean? That way, I keep my addiction at home. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, now I'm gonna tell you, man, that early on, you know, I'm gonna tell you when I thought I had a problem. I know he was talking about stealing at 10 years old, and I'm sorry to hear about your sister, Ronnie. You know, and it's I'm sure it's a heavy thing for you to deal with at that age. But to me, dude, you know what? And I don't know if I ever mentioned this in on the podcast, but I remember being a teenager, man, maybe 15, 16, maybe a little older, 18, dude, that I would drink. At that age, man, I was over drinking and I would pass out. And you know what, dude? But I wasn't a person that would a mean drunk or, get blah, 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 but I would get very defensive and I would get into fights, man. And I would come home from parties with torn shirts. I wouldn't remember, busted eye, blah, blah, blah. And then you get a little older and then you start going to jail. And dude, it was just like, why can't I have fun like every fucking body else? Why? I had a cousin, dude, that just loved to drink. In fact, sometimes he would drink for days, a couple of days, right? My cousin, they would party Fridays and Saturdays. But they were like this. They were like these sippers, and they'd be laughing and playing cards and blah 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 social. And he had great friends, and they all loved each other, right? And me, no, man. And in fact, I don't even think they like me around them. You know what I mean? Because I always came up with some bullshit. Somebody would offend me, and it was it was going to be a fight or whatever, right? And so I dealt with that all my teenage years, my 20s, my whatever, 30s, I think, also early 30s. And then finally, man, when I was like 38, 39, when I got addicted to we got introduced to crack cocaine. That was heavy duty, you know what I mean? And then there is where my addiction is like, hey, here we go, man. We found what we love, man. You know what I mean? And here we are, here's Johnny. You know what I mean? And it all went down here from there, man. Yeah. And I'll tell you one thing, Ronnie. I remember going to Dr. Bowie. My wife at the time took me to see Dr. Bowie. And he said, see, I was making a ton of money back then, man. I mean, I wasn't just a mechanic. I had my mechanic shop, but I wasn't just a mechanic. I had other things that I had going on that weren't legal. I remember she took me to see this doctor, and I remember him telling me, listen, son, I'm going to tell you something. If you don't stop what you're doing, you're going to go broke. I remember thinking in the back of my mind, doctor, you don't know the kind of money that I'm making, man. You know what I mean? But sure as shit, guess what? He was right. He was right, man. But anyway, I remember that clearly. And I don't know if any one of you two have a story like that,
You're I'm trying to again. Okay, so Christopher says I used to tell people that I had an addiction to pain. Oh, to do pain. Yeah. And my addiction was giving. It was a great feeling. I was addicted to helping others and helped others before helping myself, since it felt so good. Mm-hmm. And I see that.
I didn't understand that question.
That wasn't a question.
Oh, okay. It was just a statement.
He was making a statement. And John says your story hits home about stealing shit.
Well, give it back, John. Give it back. What's up, John? Good to hear from you, man. Thank you for joining us.
So, man, so do you have triggers?
Me?
You talked about triggers a little bit.
I do. I do. Yeah. But I talk about them. You know what I mean? And some people are scared to talk about them, man. And it's okay. In fact, I have my wife. I talk to her a lot, man. And I get honest with people, man. I'm not embarrassed anymore, Raul. I'm not embarrassed to say what's wrong with me. You know what, dude? Because just like the bad shit that's going on in my mind, I try to do good. You know what I mean? I try. Hey, it's about balance, right? Yeah. It's about balance, man. Look, I'm fucked up. I am, excuse my French, man. I am a mess, but you know what, dude? Yeah, I'm a mess, dude. But you know what? I have a heart, man. And I know I have a heart. And you know what, dude? Sometimes I do too much for people. And I think to myself, I'm just going to quit helping people, man. I've got this cat, and I'm not going to say any names, man, that I helped a couple of weeks ago, right? And I feel like he paid me back wrong. You know what I mean? But you know what, dude? I'm just going to let it, I'm going to let it go. I let it go. You know why? That's not going to keep helping the other one. Because you know what, dude? I'm going to tell you why, Ronnie, because if somebody wouldn't have helped me, if that person was tired of everybody else's shit and didn't help me, where would I be? Where would I be if that guy would have given up on me, right? I
probably
wouldn't be here today.
Here.
No,
probably
absolutely not. I'd probably be 6 feet under because that's the way I was going. My daughters wouldn't be in their own home. My ex-wife wouldn't be there living with them. You know what I mean? And Lisa wouldn't be here. Robert wouldn't be. Nobody would be where they're at. Everybody that in my life is in a direct result of my recovery. Everybody that I love, because I'm going to tell you something, and sometimes I'm going to tell you something, Raul, and I'm not embarrassed to say this because I at times I felt bad and I felt guilty. When I got back into recovery, man, my only goal was to get my finances back. It was, and I'll be honest with you, and that's not why we're supposed to, but that's what I did. And I did a fabulous job, I think. You know what I mean? And now I'm turning my way around. Now that I got what I needed to get from me and my family, now I'm turning around and I'm investing my time back into recovery. This has got to do with the podcast and the Sundays when we go pick up guys from the Salvation Army with Mac. You know what I mean? It makes me feel good. You know what I mean? It makes me feel good to come from my downtown apartment to here to feed my dogs and and add water to my plants. You know what I mean? So, that's what I do, so what about you, Ronnie? What do you do for your recovery? What are you doing currently for your recovery besides, working on your house?
So
and going to meetings, you know what I mean?
He called me out, huh?
Yeah.
So, as you know,
Mm-hmm.
me and you have been trying to do a lot more outreach.
Right. Well, yeah.
That's huge
Absolutely,
for me
yeah.
because I can't keep what I have if I don't give it away.
Right.
We can't keep all this shit to ourselves.
Mhm.
That's selfish. If you're
Mhm.
doing that, you're selfish.
Mhm.
And so I can see myself getting out of myself to make sure others are getting help too.
Mhm.
Because like you said, if that was the case, I'd be dead too, for
Mhm.
sure. So somebody believed in me. Somebody thought, hey, he might be able to do this.
Mhm.
So why can't I have that same compassion for someone else?
Mhm.
Because a lot of the times we can see ourselves in other people, and they just need that spark
Mm.
to change, And a lot of the times,
They need the spark and the will. They got to want to.
but absolutely, but when somebody believes in you, it changes everything. When somebody says, I believe in you, you can do
Mhm.
this.
Mhm.
That's a big fucking deal.
Mm.
So people can believe in people, and I could say I want the best for you, and then they still go a different way. So I see what you're saying in a way. I see what you're saying.
Well, we talked about this a couple of shows ago, man, that us, and when I say us, I mean us three, right? Dude, for us to take a drink, to take a drug and take a drink and do some of that, dude, today we've been clear of the addiction. We're addicts. We have that in us, right? And just like our literature and or whatever, we open that addiction all over again. It's in our wording to our whatever. Those things are put there for a reason. When we open up our addiction all over again, it would be irresponsible of us, Raul. Look, that's why we do the work, man. We keep our side, all this bullshit. We keep our side of our street clean, man. We sweep it up. We do inventory. We say every night. I'm gonna tell you what, and I don't say this to nobody, and I'll say it to y'all. But at night, my wife and I, man, and we a lot of times in the mornings, I tell her all the things that I do wrong towards her. You know what I mean? And she doesn't tell me shit, but I tell her. And then she's watching, she's a witness. I tell her all the time, hey, listen, babe, I'm sorry that I offended you, and I'm sorry, but you know what, man, and if I'm just doing this too long, and then because you're not gonna forgive me, I get it. You're perfect. You know what I mean? I'm the lucky guy because I married a perfect woman. You do no wrong. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm asking from you is patience and understanding. You know what I mean? I do. I tell my wife that, dude, and I'm not embarrassed. You know what I'm saying?
Well, honesty, man.
Yeah.
Honesty.
Yeah.
Missy said, honesty goes a long way. People have to be honest about addiction. Good job, Ricky.
Thank you. Finally, somebody recognized me. Thank you, Misty. I get no love from Ronnie over here.
She said, good for all of you staying sober.
Thank you, Misty. We're trying. You know what I mean? And this, I think part of this podcast keeps us grounded, man. Keeps us accountable, and lets us know. And we're going to be doing a lot of wonderful things, man, that we've got in the works. we've got a lot of wonderful things right now. COVID, we had a thing that we had going on that we're supposed to go to today. Also, is it next month? I will be talking. I'll be sharing my story at this masquerade. I'd like to put it on the website for you on this website here for the from the penthouse to the big house, or the big house to the penthouse. If anybody would like to come to the masquerade ball, it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of people and great food in Webster, Texas.
I think it's in October, right?
I think so. We'll put the dates on there, man. So for anybody, it's going to be a lot of fun, man. It's going to be exciting. Some people are going to newscast and all that's going to be there.
So Misty says you can believe in someone, however, they are the ones that have to believe in themselves and do the work.
Go ahead, Ronnie.
No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead, Ronnie. Answer that.
Well,
No.
I agree.
What was the question again?
She said that you can believe in somebody, but that individual is going to have to want to do the work.
Yeah, they got to do the footwork.
Yeah,
You have to do the footwork.
and
I can't sit here and say, Ricky, I want you to get clean, and just because I say that, he gets clean.
right.
Dude, but does anybody understand that this is very hard though, too, man? I mean, it's not that easy.
What, addiction? Or
No, well,
recovery?
getting clean,
Oh,
getting
no,
clean, and
it's
staying.
not.
No,
It's-
getting clean and
staying
staying clean,
clean.
man.
Yeah.
Every time something happens, I hear some people come into the group or come into the meetings talking about, I can't pay my light bill. I think I'm gonna go use over it. In my opinion, and maybe I'm wrong, and I don't want to offend nobody. I think that's a bunch of bullshit. You know what I mean? I do, and I'm sorry. And if you don't like it, fuck it, call somebody. I don't know, but me, I think so. Now I'm gonna tell you something. For me, is that if I would argue with my mom, that would make me something that would really hurt me inside. I'd be like, you know what, man, forget all this shit. You know what? Nobody loves me. Mom, you never from the beginning never loved me anyway. You love my brother more. You know what? Fuck it. I done lost it all. I don't have my children. I lost my children. My ex-wife divorced me. What the fuck do I have to lose, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you feel me? Dude, I would be easy. What would be the easy thing to do? To forget all about it. Just take that hit, man. Drink a beer, right? Because that's what we're used to. That's what we're used to. When somebody passes away, what's the first thing they do when they bring food? They bring alcohol, right? We talk about how great this person was and blah, 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 right? When somebody's born, same thing, right? A christening, what do? Food and beer, and you celebrate, right? Everything that we do when we mourn, or they drink, and you get high on some places. And when somebody's born, every situation, it's just like, I'm tired also too. Every time that one of my family members wants to celebrate, we got to go eat. You know what I mean? The first time, let's go eat. Everybody wants to eat. I'm trying to lose weight. Everybody wants to eat. That's my struggle today. Go ahead, Ron.
So I got a question for y'all.
Go ahead.
So let's segue into what you were saying about, let's go to reservations. Is there any things that have happened since y'all have got clean, reservation wise? Like if you said, if this happens, I'm going back out, I'm going to start using again. Have there been?
Oh man, good question.
I've had multiple things happen in my early recovery. For me, it was my stepdad passing away from cancer. And I told myself, I said, if something happens to him, I'm going back out.
Really?
And
you actually said that to yourself? How long ago was this?
That's when I was in my first year of recovery.
Oh, okay. You were early in recovery.
But were you still looking for reasons to go back out?
No, I wasn't.
Isn't that a reservation? Or no? What is a reservation?
A reservation is just saying if something's going to happen, I'm going to use that as an excuse to go do what I want to do.
So an excuse.
Excuse.
What I'm saying.
But the beauty of it is I didn't fucking do it.
Yeah. But you got the heart, the what did they say? Ganas?
The will, the will,
Yeah.
the will,
You
yeah.
got the want to, and you got 13 years in right now.
But at the
right?
time he was only a year clean.
I didn't have a year clean. I think I had 9 months.
Okay.
But you think about it now, he's got 13 years and he's still doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
That's
But okay, now let's after
But
recently,
no,
have you had any reservations recent? When I say recently, in the last 5 years, and hopefully Rachel's not listening.
No.
No,
Because
none.
I got it too fucking good.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would I
And
go
you're
fuck
being
that?
honest. You're being honest with me, with us, yeah.
If I wasn't being honest, I wouldn't be sitting here.
Right on. Okay. Well, I'm
wouldn't be
just saying. I mean, and I'm not trying to offend nobody, but I'm just saying, hey, there has been nothing. Because I'm gonna tell you what, dude. Hell, it hasn't been that long ago that I thought about that. You know what? I thought about it. Would I do it? Probably not. But I thought about it. I'm gonna tell you what. You want me to tell you?
Hold on, let me ask you a question.
Oh,
real
sure. Go
quick.
ahead.
I like just me asking the question type of thing.
That's okay.
Did you have a reservation when your dad passed?
No.
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 Okay.
Mm-mm.
I don't
No.
mean to bring that up as a
No.
bad thing.
That's good. I'm going to tell you what I did
know.
when I wanted to take my life. That I did. That
Right.
wasn't a reservation to use, but I felt I was hurting so much that I wanted to take. In fact, I was Sunday, the Sunday my dad passed away. I left church and my dad was at the hospital over there in Clear Lake Regional, I guess. And I remember Eugene was still alive at the time. And he says, hey, you might keep seeing your dad as much as you can, right? I think Eugene knew something was up, right? Because my dad's cancer had come back. And when I remember calling Eugene and telling him, Eugene started crying. And so I said, man, he knows something, right? Anyway, I remember leaving church, and I don't remember where Willie's or anybody else was, but I was heading to the hospital, and I was going to take an exit for that exit for the hospital off of Gulf Freeway. And I was hauling ass, and I almost hit that thing where you exited. They had like this thing, like a wall. And I said, man, I remember thinking for a minute, man, I should have hit that motherfucker, man. I wish I would have hit it. And I had my seatbelt on because I was hurting, man. And I didn't know my dad was going to die. I went straight. I passed up the hospital and I went to Clear Lake meeting. I went there and it just so happens that I wasn't going to share, man. I cried when I shared. I was hurting, man. I was like, my dad's in the hospital and he's got cancer, man. And blah, 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 man. And, this one girl shared, man, she's a nurse. And she so happened, man, she came to me after the meeting. She goes, hey, listen, man, where's your dad at? What room? And I was like, he's in, I think he's in blah, blah, blah. She goes, I'm a nurse there. She goes, I'm a nurse there. She goes, I'll look after him. I was like, man, and I don't remember her name. I never thanked her either. Things got fuzzy. But no, I never did feel like using. But I did feel like hurting myself. And I thought about it. And, but I'll tell you, you asked that question about the reservation. I have had these thoughts that if I get a life-threatening disease like cancer, I thought that I would probably use, but then I changed it. I said, no, I won't use. And those are the reservations you're talking about. I'm these stupid these things going on in my head. No, I won't use, but I'm going to go take care of 3 people. And you know what I mean? I'm going to take care of these 3 people and I'm going to take them with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's still on the table, actually. To be quite honest with you,
let's not say that.
We want. Well, I'm not saying any names, but
Hey, the good thing about all this is when you flip the reservation. For me, like my stepdad did pass away from cancer, and I just got my 1-year chip, and I put it in his casket.
Wow!
I flipped the reservation. Like the thing that I said I would do.
He said, I'm sorry. He said, the 3 people, were you going to take them to dinner?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of it.
Take them to dinner, yeah.
That's the beauty of it, man.
And so did anybody tell you to put that in the casket, or you just did it on your own?
No, I did it on my own because he was one of the first people that believed in me.
Yeah.
And thought I could really do this. Even after 7 rehabs and being homeless multiple places. I mean, like, that's why I said when somebody believes in you, you use it as motivation.
Okay, that I agree with. I agree. Somebody believes in you, use it as motivation, but you have to put the work in.
Absolutely.
You have to want it.
Dude, you know why? That nobody believed in me.
Yeah?
Nope, none of my family members, nobody believed in me. You know who believed in me? My sponsor. Nobody else.
Yeah.
Nobody else. Dude, I went there, man. I mean, when they say I went there, I went there.
You know what I mean? When he first came in, I was like, this motherfucker ain't gonna last long at all. He's out of here.
Dude, it was just like, I mean, I didn't do this on my own. If I would have never met my sponsor, man, I wouldn't have been here. He's the only one that believed in me, man. You know, I
It changed everything.
it changed everything for me, man.
Exactly.
He changed everything for me. It's he was amazing, man. He was an amazing friend. He was doggone it, man. He got me through my relationship with my mom, fixed the relationship, or even things that I use today. The reason that I visit my mom today, and I love her dearly, but I can't stand being around her. The reason that I have a relationship with my mom and I forgive her, because sometimes she still offends me, and I don't think I offended her. Maybe I do. I don't know. You'd have to ask, we'd have to bring her to the show, right? And then we might even bring her to the show.
You offend her?
I don't think I offend her.
I'm gonna speak on your mom's behalf.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you probably
I do
offended
offend
her.
her, yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But
We'll answer for you, Mama Cruz. Mama Cruz, we got you.
Come
We
to
got
her
you, Mama
defense.
Cruz.
But really, dude, the reason that I still go and I humble myself and I go with my as they say in Spanish, I don't know if they say it in English, but when you put your tail between your legs, right? Right? Do they say that in English too? Is that a saying? Did you when you put your tail between your legs, like a dog, right? You're like, okay. I do that for my mom, even though I know she's wrong. I still go and I forgive her for her being wrong. You know what I mean? And I go and I sit there like I did this morning. I went and sat down with her for 30 minutes and I've had enough. And then I left. But I still go.
Christopher said, take them to dinner at Hell's Kitchen.
For hell yeah.
You know, I'm gonna be honest, man. Since I started my recovery, I never thought about going back. I haven't, because I love my life now, man.
Mm-hmm.
I love the people. I love the person I've become. I love everything that I'm doing. I'm standing for something, and I feel like I can represent the veteran community in a sober way.
Let's give a shout out to Raul. I did this a couple weeks ago.
What'd you do?
Raul does a lot for the community, man.
Of course
he
he
doesn't
does.
just do this podcast. He's very entrenched in the veterans, not only recovery, but just helping them with the process of trying to get back into civilian life also. So
man, we try.
Raul's not a one-trick pony. Let's just put that out there right now. He is not a one-trick
absolutely.
pony.
Yeah,
So shout out to Raul and thank you for
appreciate you,
everything
bro.
that you do, man.
Thank
We
you,
really
brother.
appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
no, absolutely. Raul's the real deal, man. He's he in fact, I haven't seen you out and about here lately with your but usually you and I see you out in the promoting your out, at events. I haven't seen you in a while. Is it
It's too
'cause
fucking hot.
come
bro.
on, man.
Come on,
God,
man. Get the fuck out of here.
man, you
I ain't
too?
gonna be outside.
Chinga.
Shit. I don't even want to get in the car. Hey, I swear to God, the other day I walked out of the house. I said, fuck it. Let's turn around.
You could have swore you saw something melting.
You know,
Cool.
when I was overseas, man, we were, the temperatures were always in the three digits, man, 3 digits. 220, 120, and that's not even with gear on, bro. And, one of the things I said when I came back to the United States, I said, I'll never say it's hot in America ever again.
There it's hot.
It's a little damn warm here, though, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, but we didn't deal with humidity up there. It was different, but it's a little warm.
Yeah.
It's actually very warm.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We got here we go, Cindy. Now that you all are recovered, what did you hold on, I'm sorry. What did you like least about your friends and family during your journey?
I know support is important, but sometimes folks that don't understand push agendas that are not helpful in recovery. Great job, guys. Let me read that. Now that you are recovered, and we're not recovered, Cindy, we're on a journey of recovery. I don't think we'll ever reach that the end of the road, right? It's a process. We will. I think that Ronnie and Raul may agree with me on this, that recovery is a journey we will never reach until the good Lord calls us home. We will take our recovery with us. If we're fortunate enough to, if we stay the course and stay vigilant. But Raul, what about you? Did you want to answer that about our family members? what do we like least about your friends and family during your journey? What is it that would bother you about your friends or family, Raul, during your journey?
Man, nothing.
Nothing?
Actually, my family and friends were very supportive. They wouldn't try to push anything on me. Once they knew that I was taking my serious addiction, my issue serious, I had nothing but support. I'll be honest with you, bro. My brother was a huge supporter, and you know it's crazy though, because you know I want him to see the light one day, and he's still going through his thing, but he was very supportive of me, making sure that I was successful in what I was doing. You know, yeah.
Your brother,
My brother.
okay.
Well, my parents too, man. Everybody's has been very supportive, and like when I started my recovery, okay, so every time that I hang out and I do crazy things, a lot of times it was a few places here in Pearland, right? And you know, when you start, they tell you don't be near this, don't be around this, change your environment, your place, people. I said, oh yeah. So I did it, and then I sunk my addiction into something completely different. I wanted to help and continue to help, and then all my focus went there. Like I was literally breathing this. I'd get a particular location like 7 a.m. and I'd stay there till like 10 or 11 at night, just because I wanted to help this place succeed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was during COVID and things like that. I think that was a lot of my savior right there, man. Like I pushed myself to want to, but I didn't have,
cool, man.
my friends and family were supportive, man.
That's good. That's good stuff.
I know support is important, but sometimes folks that don't understand push agenda. Oh, okay. What about you? I'm sorry. You had already read that.
Not everybody was supportive
When you
For you?
started.
when I started,
Yeah.
and I respect it.
Supportive in a way that they believed in you, or supportive like, hey, do this shit right here. Both?
Maybe both.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's no book that we can read that what the right answer is to somebody who has an addiction. There's no perfect book to read to tell them or how families deal with the issues also. Because now we can look back. You know, it's easy. It was easy when we were in our addiction. Only thing that mattered was our addiction. Now you look back and you're like, well, maybe I was an addict and I did all this stuff. But the people that didn't support me, I respect it. I still respect it.
What do you mean? People that didn't support you while you were in active addiction? Or what do you mean? Or
I think
were you
when
clean?
you
So when I was
recovery.
when I was in active addiction, a lot of people believed, as they did with you too, I'm sure too, that you weren't going to make it. You would be another statistic, and that would be it.
Shit, I didn't believe.
Exactly. So I get it, but I don't get it. You know, like, because if that was me or my kid, I'd be like, hey, you know, I believe in you, even after 7 rehabs and all that other stuff. But it was a blessing in disguise. I used it as motivation. I say this all the time, but don't use pain as a motivator. But it's always been my greatest motivator is pain. Without no pain, there ain't no change.
It's like having haters, man.
Exactly.
I love having haters.
I do. I thrive off of it because I love proving people wrong. Because you know when you're smoking rock in the closet and you're doing stuff you're not supposed to do, and I'm shooting up, it's real easy to say, hey, he's a lost cause. It's over.
Yeah.
But then you come out of all that shit, and then the people that didn't believe, they got to sit back and be like, what the fuck? I expected him to die. You know, when you don't and you come out the other side, it's beautiful. Not only for them, but for us.
Yeah. Definitely.
You know, because I tell Ricky all the time, you ain't got to love it, but you damn sure got to fucking respect it. And I stand by that.
Ricky, I know you got.
He is lost for words. I cannot believe this. This is the first time
I gotta check. Is this
in history.
Y'all
Oh,
muted me, man.
You cut his mic
Y'all
off.
I don't think his
muted
mic
me,
was
man.
plugged in.
Damn, what was that question? Damn, Cindy, what you ask shit like that for, man? What was that question again?
That was,
Damn
that
it.
was a good question.
Yeah, that was a good question. She says, now that you are okay, sorry. Now that you all are recovered, I guess, yeah. What did you at least about your what did you
like least
like
about
least
your
about
friends
your
and
friends
family
and family?
during
God
your
damn.
journey? Well, you know, what I like least about my journey in the beginning, Cindy, was that people, my family didn't think I was going to get it. Hell, the people that I had just met didn't think I was going to get it. You know what I mean? The people in my life that knew me, that I mean, my family members, they didn't think I was going to get it. They thought I was lost cause. I remember, dude, I remember feeling so alone. You know, I remember feeling so alone, and I had family. You know, my sister, she tried to help me as much as she could. You know, so I have this utmost respect and love for my sister. I love my brothers too. But my sister, man, she tried the best as she could, man. And my mom and dad didn't understand. They're still like, I think they were still like, hey, why don't you just stop? Whatever it is. See, they didn't know what I was doing. They didn't know that I was smoking rock, right? And I don't even know if they knew I was also snorting cocaine, a shitload of it, right? I think they knew some kind of a drug. They thought it was marijuana, right? But when I started to get clean, nobody believed that I was going to make it, that I would not make it. They didn't, I don't think anybody knew I was going to die. Right. I don't think that didn't cross their mind. It's just, look, you're losing yourself. I was becoming this different person when I was, you know, walking into rooms and I'm walking into rooms. Right. And I'm renting halls and I'm closing restaurants and making shit happen. I get, my addiction takes me to where I'm homeless. I've got no money. I'm begging for 20 and 30 bucks at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Right. My lights are off at my 2.5 story brick house. You know what I mean? All of a sudden my cars are being sold, and my ex-wife is telling my mom all these stories of things are going on at the house. Right. And everybody's going, what's going on, man? So you know what, man, I'm going to tell you something, man. My dad always believed in the person that I was. I'm going to tell you, man, my dad always believed in the person that I am today. The person that I am today. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. And I know this sounds corny, but a lot of the things that I do today, my career, is because I want my dad to be proud of me. I want my dad to be proud of me. Yeah. I am not really sure where my dad is spiritually. People are like, your dad is here and he's listening and he's watching and he's blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, okay, thanks. You know, I'm not quite sure I believe it. Right. But I just want to be left there. Right. I don't want nobody to try to convince me otherwise. I have my, you know, hopefully my dad is watching it now. Man, I do everything I do because all my life I wanted my dad's approval. I wanted to make him fucking proud. And he was always disappointed in me. He would be very proud of me because I would make these great deals. I was like the Mexican fucking Donald Trump, man. I'd make these great fucking deals, man. And then I cut my dad off. You know what I mean? I'd break him off. Every time I sold something, even if I sold a goat, man, I'd cut him off a piece. And every time I came with his money, man, he'd be like, hey, thank you. All right, I'm going to the game room. I said, you keep rocking, man. And see, I was his money making machine, and he was so proud of me. But then I would go to jail and I'd get drunk and offend somebody, and then he'd be disappointed, you know? So all my life it was that, man. And after I lost my own man, after I lost my dad, man, in fact, I remember the day that they cremated him. My dad died Sunday morning, at Sunday night at like 9:15 p.m. and he died with me by myself, you know. That's another whole freaking feeling, you know, why he chose me, or if he even chose me to leave while I was with him by myself. that night, of course, I called all the family members, let them know that what happened. And, the next morning, dude, about 6 o'clock in the morning, when they're wheeling my dad out of the room, covered up, well, my brother and I were walking behind the body, man, and they're taking him, I guess, to an ice room, to keep him cold. And I remember, man, the next morning, that was Sunday night, Monday morning, you know what I did? I went to work.
Yeah.
I went to work. They were like, "Hey, where you going?" I was like, I got to go open the shop. They're like, "Where you going? Where?" So I'm going to go open the shop. And no, come here. No, I'll be back. And dude, I went and I opened the shop and I just sat there, man. I just sat there at the little shop. I just sat there, and I don't remember. But anyway, I'm going to tell you something, man. I remember that because you know why I went to open the shop? Because my dad always said, you need to open the shop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's raining, it's thundering. Even if I die, you open the shop. You know what I mean? And dude, I've opened the shop ever since then, man. And the rain or shine, so my addiction, this is a further question. There was one of the, I told one of my friends, and I won't mention his name, Ernesto, I said, listen, I traded one of my addictions to becoming a workaholic.
Yeah.
Raul, and it came into my favor because I have become a little bit more financially free, right? One, number two, my obsession to eat, I became vegan. I'm turning my addictions over, my obsessions. Now I became a vegan. Now overeat vegetables. Ain't that something? You know what I mean? So do you understand what I'm saying, Ronnie? I'm over here,
I see you and I hear you.
That's all I got to say about that, Cindy. Thank you for bringing that up, man.
Now he's done.
Yeah, I'm done.
First off, let's say congratulations to David. He's got 68 days sober.
What's up, David, man? When you coming on the show, man?
Congrats.
It's a big deal, man.
We need to get you in here, man, so we can talk about those 68 days, brother.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. And we got a question right here from Misty. She said, what made you want to stop after the 7th rehab?
I think that's for Ronnie.
Well, I want to ask you to
Was that me?
Oh, no. That's for Ronnie. I want to hear his answer, and then I want to hear yours.
I was sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Don't say that.
I was.
Give me something original, man.
No,
They tell us something that happened to you that said, "Hey, man, this is it." You know what I mean? This is it. I've had a fucking enough. You know what I mean?
Well, I told you about me being across the street from Star.
Okay, well, tell her that. She's the one that asked.
And he loves making a question into 3 questions.
I'm sorry.
So, to be honest, I called out to God.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what changed. My dad asked me that one time. He said, "What changed?" I said, I finally called out to God and asked for help, sincere help, not just I'm pulled over by the cops and there's drugs in the car. I don't want to go to jail type of prayer. A genuine, I fucking give up. I need help. And you're the only thing that can help me. So that's what it was. It was God. It's always been God. It's always going to be God. So who I choose to call my higher power, what you guys can call it whatever you like, that's fine with me too. It was God, man. It was absolutely God. Because I know after I started to get clean, a lot of things fell into place. Not of my doing. Because of my doing, that's where I end up on the street. My will. God's will is way better than mine, for sure. Did I dissect your 48 question?
I'm just listening. I'm just listening to what did it for you because my answer is kind of different. You know what I mean?
Well, tell us how many rehabs.
Oh, you want to hear mine?
Yeah. How many?
Well, no. I mean, when I went to, let me see. I got kicked out of 2, 3. I think I went to 4 rehabs.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 4th one was the charm for me, and what did it for me, man, is the what did it for me. I remember clearly. My daughter Ricky, the youngest.
Yeah.
I was at the rehab during Christmas, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's Eve, and my birthday. So from December, November, December, January, and February, right? And my daughters had moved to Bronzeville to get away from me. And one of the times, I think it was around Christmas time, they couldn't come at Christmas, so they came before or after. I don't remember. But Ricky, my ex-wife, and Chrissy and Ricky leaving the rehab, and Ricky turns around, and dude, she would never cry. Her eyes were bloodshot red, and she was just gonna get in the car, and they were like, Ricky, get in. And Ricky, get in. And I'm looking at her, she's looking at me, and her fucking eyes are bloodshot red. And I'm like, this is it, man. This is it. And dude, that I made a decision right there and then. I made a decision that I was not gonna be away from my children. That's the first time. The second time was because there was other times that I wanted to give up, right? I mean, not in rehab, because in there I was in a controlled environment. I was safe, so I felt good. Leaving rehab was another thing. I was like, oh shit, now I gotta leave. You know, my time's up, man. Yeah. It was we had this big talk. You know, the instructors there, whatever you call them, said, hey, listen, man, take all your tools, man. Take your tools, don't leave them at the door. And they went through all this bullshit, you know. And but you know, another time was that when I said I have to get this, I used to have to go visit my daughters at in a safe home in Angleton. You know what I mean? And going there, dude, going there and going, I have to go see my children that belong to me, that used to sleep under my roof, and they're mine. Why do I have to go ask you permission? You know what I mean? And dude, I was like, how long is this gonna last? And my sponsor, man, is, look, man, you just got to show them that you're gonna get your shit together, right? Just, it won't last long. Just be cool, right? And just keep doing the deal, keep doing what you're doing, and that mentoring. That, hey, man, you're a bad motherfucker. Don't worry about it, man. Yeah. You show them who you're made out of, you know. And here we are, man. Boom! It's just like a drop of a fucking hat. It seemed like that was just 3 years ago or last year. And here we are, man. And you know, so it's been a there. I mean, that for me, yeah, you know,
man,
that for me, it did it. You know, my children, especially Ricky. I mean, all my children, but especially her. Right. Again, I'm gonna say this one more thing. And Robert called me the other day. I'm gonna tell you the last amount of money that I ran out, the last money that I had before I went to the last rehab. Robert wanted a guitar because he wanted to play. He had when I had money. Before the money ran out, I got him an instructor to play guitar, teach him how to play guitar. And I bought this one guitar for him, a Gibson. I made this deal, man, and I scored this cash, and from it, I knew I was going in. I bought him this guitar, man, and he learned to play on it, and he had it 13 years, 12 years, and now I recovered it. I have the guitar. And it's going on my wall, but I remember this is the guitar. It's in my office, and that guitar, he tried to get it back, and I said, no, man, I'm sorry, you can't have it back. He gave it to me. He tried to get it back yesterday. I said, I'm sorry, you can't. It's going on my wall. And it's very important to me because it's something that I did, even though I was using when I bought it.
Yeah, that makes. Christopher said tonight's show is called The 3 R's of Addiction.
Ronnie, Raul, and Ricky. Damn, we got to make a shirt about that.
No shit.
You didn't get it. You
the
even
3
read
R's,
that,
right?
I was like, damn, what the hell is he talking about? That's pretty good. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, right.
We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Fucking tree.
Right on.
Yeah. Oh man, that's this.
Holy crap, we're going in an hour and a half. Damn, yeah, Ronnie, you can talk.
Oh shit.
Ricky talks a lot.
Let's see. I got the time. Right
Oh
here.
Man,
Raul's
we started late too.
No. Raul's got about 8 minutes of talking. Ronnie's got 7.
Ricky third, an hour.
You got the fucking wrist.
An hour and 15 minutes.
Hey, well, y'all need to step up your games, man. Y'all need to quit leaving me alone in this deal, man. You need to write some more notes, man.
I don't need notes. I got it right here.
For real.
Yeah. Man.
Well, good, man. I'm glad people joined us, man.
You got any closing comments?
Yeah.
Man?
If you need help, ask for it.
Yeah. Definitely.
Recovery is possible
It is,
if you
man.
work it. And the lie is dead. We do recover.
Right
You
on.
do recover.
Right on.
He said, I need to go to Ricky's school of podcasting talk.
You don't want to go there, man. You don't want to go there, man.
better clear the month.
For real. For real, though.
Hey, as always, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, share. And if you missed it, this will be available on all Damn, I got that retainer. All podcast platforms.
Yeah.
As of tomorrow.
Right on.
So, guys, thank you again, and we appreciate it.
All right. Thank you for joining us, man. And we'll see you next Wednesday. Same time, same channel. Raul, Ronnie, the lie is dead. Why? We do recover, man. All right. Stay vigilant, friends.
We love you, Misty.
Right on.